Hello, my name is David Wilcox, and I'm a master's student at the University of Oklahoma Center for Restoration of Ecosystems and Watersheds. Today, I want to speak about a portion of my research and discuss ecosystem metabolism as a tool to evaluate conservation easement success in the Horse Creek watershed of the Grand Lake of the Cherokees, Oklahoma. I will begin by providing a background on the Horse Creek watershed, followed by the study design, results, and my ideas for future work in the watershed. I will take questions at the end of the presentation. My research is in the Horse Creek watershed, a subwatershed of the Grand Lake of the Cherokees in northeastern Oklahoma. Here is Grand Lake, and this region is the Upper Horse Creek watershed. This 126 square kilometer watershed is dominated by agricultural land use. This land use and land cover data derived from the 2019 National Land Cover Database shows that the watershed consists of 61% pasture and hay land use and 28% cultivated crop farming. Cattle ranching is a major agricultural activity in this watershed. In this video clip, I show where cattle have direct access to Horse Creek in order to drink water. You can see that the stream bank is degraded where cattle have access to the stream. Much research has gone into quantifying the effects of cattle access on streams and has found that cattle degrade natural riparian ecosystems, increase soil erosion, and increase bacteria and nutrient loading into natural watercourses. Horse Creek is on the Oklahoma 303D list of impaired streams, and the Grand River Dam Association, which manages the Grand Lake of the Cherokees, has concerns that these impacts affect water quality in the lake. In an effort to reduce the impact of direct cattle access on Horse Creek, the GRDA has entered into a conservation easement agreement with a local landowner. The purpose of these conservation easements is to install cattle exclusion fencing and allow the riparian corridor around Horse Creek to reestablish. Grant Victor, the landowner, has earned the 2020 Sand County Foundation Leopold Conservation Award in part due to his establishment of 178 acres of conservation easement around Horse Creek. My research interests include water quality and how it impacts ecosystems. When I joined the Center for Restoration of Ecosystems and Watersheds here at the University of Oklahoma, I saw Horse Creek as an opportunity to study how the conservation easements impacted riparian and aquatic ecosystems. Therefore, I want to present a portion of my research for this conference, focusing on the impact of these conservation easements on decomposition in the stream. Traditionally, the impact of stream restoration activities is evaluated using a structural assessment. These structural indicators include things like fish and macroinvertebrate assemblages and habitat metrics to study potential causes of stream degradation and monitor these trends over time. However, very few stream assessments evaluate ecological function. Riparian ecosystems are transitional between aquatic and terrestrial environments and provide a wide range of ecological functions such as nutrient cycling and organic matter decomposition, water temperature regulation, and primary productivity. For this portion of my research, I adapted methods for the use of a standardized cotton strip assay for measuring organic matter decomposition in streams. Using raw cotton canvas, I generated hundreds of cotton strips that measure approximately 8 centimeters long by 3 centimeters wide. Each one was given an identification number, and samples of 10 strips were incubated in one of 3 test sites in Horse Creek for a period of 14 days. One site was chosen upstream of the conservation easement to simulate watershed conditions before the easement. One site was chosen in a downstream portion of the conservation easement, and one site was chosen on a tributary of Horse Creek. A comparative study was conducted in the 5 Mile Creek watershed, a regional stream used by the Oklahoma Conservation Commission as a reference stream. These cotton strips were pulled apart using a tensile tester. Comparisons were made between the maximum tensile strength in pounds of force of each group of cotton strips with various watershed characteristics, including water chemistry and watershed land use. My hypothesis for this portion of my research is that there will be a significant difference in the cotton tensile strength between easement and non-easement sections of Horse Creek. I also want to determine if the cotton tensile strength is significantly different from the reference stream, 5 Mile Creek, which acts as the reference condition. After gathering cotton tensile strength data for each month from February to August, I compared mean tensile strength values on a monthly basis using SPSS statistics software. A Kruskal-Wallis ANOVA was used to compare means between each set of samples for each month. ANOVA failed to find a significant difference between Horse Creek East and Horse Creek North for the months of February or May, with data lost in April due to flooding, signifying that there was not a significant impact on decomposition due to the establishment of the conservation easement. However, in June, there were significant differences between the main tensile strengths at the two sites. Differences in the two sites also approached significance in July and August with p-values near 0.1. Mean tensile strength values did not significantly differ from Little Horse Creek, the tributary, during wet months. However, in July and August, Little Horse Creek dried due to lack of rainfall. Most encouragingly, tensile strength values at Horse Creek East did not differ significantly from 5 Mile Creek, the reference site, during July or August. A stepwise regression performed on these means suggests that the most parsimonious fit includes differences in nitrate and phosphate from water quality data, and differences in the amount of open developed land use between Horse Creek East's watershed and 5 Mile Creek's watershed. Another tool I used to analyze the difference between the tensile strength of each site is an indicator developed for assessing organic matter breakdown. Tensile strength loss is divided by the incubation time to get a rate of percentage of tensile strength loss per day. The rate of each treatment site, which is all three of the sites at Horse Creek, is divided by the rate at the reference site, 5 Mile Creek, to get indicator values. Indicator values between 0.75 and 1.33 are considered to show no impact on ecosystem function. Values between 0.5 to 0.75 or 1.33 to 2.0 are considered to show mild impact on ecosystem function. Values of less than 0.5 or greater than 2.0 reveal severe impacts on ecosystem function. Strips at Horse Creek East never reveal worse than mild impact on ecosystem function. These values range from 1.15 to 1.93. Horse Creek North was mildly to severely impacted, depending on the month, with values ranging from 1.44 to 2.34. Little Horse Creek revealed the highest impacts on cotton strip decomposition, with indicator values between 1.43 and 4.80. In the wet months, these strips were the most visibly degraded. I believe that these results indicate positive trends for the conservation easements at Horse Creek. The decomposition trends provide evidence in support of the success of the conservation easement in improving ecosystem function. This portion of my research is only a part in a complement of studies on ecosystem structure and function, which includes evaluations of riparian productivity using the Normalized Difference Vegetation Index and unmanned aerial craft, evaluations of habitat, and evaluations of fish and macroinvertebrate biota in these streams. These data, while useful, only provide snapshots of ecosystem conditions. To truly evaluate the impact of the conservation easements at Horse Creek, data should be collected on a regular yearly interval. A longitudinal data set can be used to evaluate trends showing the improvement of functional metrics. This decomposition study can easily be replicated and expanded, and the results can be used to identify potential sites for new conservation easements. Of course, I'd like to acknowledge my colleagues, advisors, and supporters that make this research possible. I'd like to thank Dr. Robert Nairn for his advisement and incredible support. I'd also like to thank Dr. Robert Knox and Dr. Darrell Townsend, who have input their guidance into my research. I'd like to thank every member of crew who has been there to help me deploy cotton strips or to do any of my research tasks: Mackenzie, Justine, Nick, Brandon, Leaf, Haley, Cheyenne, Peter, Allie, and Olivia. I want to thank Steiner in particular, without whose support I would not have been nearly so productive. Of course, I'd also like to thank our colleagues at the Grand River Dam Authority, including Bill Mosbach, Steve Nicolai, and Dustin Browning. A list of cited literature for this presentation can be made available upon request. Thank you very much for attending this OU International Water Conference presentation. This is my first conference, and I am excited to take questions. I can be reached for any additional questions or follow-up at my student email address, dmwilcox@ou.edu. Thank you again.